Hello and welcome to another holiday old school event here. This time we are tackling Urza's block, which is one of the first few blocks that I played back in the day. The very first was Tempest. So yeah, let's see if we open some expensive stuff. And of course, most importantly, let's see if we have some fun. Alright, well, it is funny. I played a draft before this one, and my first rare was also Rumbling Crescendo. I did not take it then, and I am not gonna take it here. I think the best card in the pack here is gonna be a Pacifism by a fair margin. Not much here that we would want to play, to be honest. Fertile Ground is okay. The Viashino here is okay. Treetop Rangers is okay. But that's mostly it. There's this Opal guy too, but it's white and Pacifism is a much better white card, so let's go ahead and take it. It's important to say also that since this is kind of an enchantment block, enchantment removal spells are prevalent sometimes in the main deck, which makes Pacifism slightly less good, but it's still pretty good. Okay. Well, there's an Angelic Chorus, which is okay, but I don't think we're gonna take it over something like a cheap flyer like a Pegasus Charger. There's a Congregate, there's a Rune of Protection, which we are obviously not gonna take it. And not much else. A couple of nice Echo Red guys, a couple good green guys too, but there's really no reason to go outside our first pick, our first pick scholar here, since Pegasus Chargers is a pretty good one, cheap flyer. Alright, so it seems we are probably going to be white, blue again. That is my favorite color combination after all. Here the pick should be between Pendrell Drake or Rescind. I think I'm gonna take the Drake just because it's a flyer and it's it's hard to get really good creatures in this format, and this is very fair for what it does. Cycling is great. I mean, Rescind is also great, but I would rather err on the side of taking a creature here in this format. Yeah, let's go ahead and take the Pendrell Drake. It's a close pick though. I think it could really go either way. Ooh, Sarah's Embrace. Definitely taking that. That is really good. Rune of Protection artifacts. Destructive Urge. It's pretty good too. Could end up being awesome. There is another Pacifism, but I don't think I can pass a Sarah's Embrace. Or can I? I mean, this just wins the game sometimes. So does Pacifism, but oh well. Feel like enhancing a ground guy here could just be what I need sometimes. Yeah. Again, this is gonna be a very close pick. I'm still in doubt, but my gut says go with the Bombi aura, so that's what I'm gonna do. Angelic Page is okay, Curfew is okay, Silent Attendant is okay. Horseshoe Crab. It's definitely a very good card in some formats. I'm not sure. I think there is some sort of enchantment that makes this guy a pinger in this format, but I'm not sure. I think it is even blue probably, since blue back then was able to ping. But here I'm gonna take an Angelic Page. I think should be the best option for us. I think. Again, could take a Curfew, but the problem with cards like Curfew is that it doesn't really work too well with Pacifism, since our opponent can just go ahead and bounce his own pacified creature, since Curfew does not target. Sanctum Guardian is okay. Annul is okay too. Retromancer is very good. Fecundity. Yeah, I'm think I'm gonna take the Sanctum Guardian. White in this format has some pretty nasty damage prevention cards, so it's nice that we try to get a critical mass. Sadly, we haven't seen any Sanctum Custodians, which is one of the best white commons in the whole format. But at least we get a Pacifism, right? That's gotta be kinda like the second best. Okay. Well, Season Marshal is, perhaps terribly overpriced for nowadays. Just compare it to something like an emissary of Gilead emissary from Theros. But I think it's still a playable card in this format. Rewind is also an option, so is Disenchant, even Catalog, but I think I'm gonna take the Creature. It's a good one to put a Sarah's Embrace on too. Disruptive Student is an annoying card. Rune of Protection is always okay to have, but not sure if you guys are hearing that. There's an alarm going off in my street here, so it should be quiet again soon. Healing Solve is an okay card as well, but I think I'm gonna take a Disruptive Student. I'm not sure if just how good it is. This is Teferi, by the way, if you weren't aware. Teferi as a child, studying in the Tolarian Academy. Pretty cool. Monk Realist should be pretty good for us. Power Sync is okay too. Definitely better than Sarah Zealot, but I think the Monk Realist is better because it's a way for us to get Enchantment Destruction on the main deck. It's not optional, so if I have a Pacifism and my opponent has no creatures, I cannot play this thing. So I think I'm gonna take a Power Sync after all. Yeah, it feels like that is better. Rune of Protection Blue, Cloak of Mists, Lingering Mirage, Veil of Birds. Congregate. I think I'm gonna take a Rune of Protection. It's a nice card to have in the sideboard, or even in the main deck, since it cycles. Arcane Laboratory. Sunk Stitcher is, well, it could be pretty good in some decks. Drifting Meadow is okay as well. Congregate. I think I'm gonna take a Drifting Meadow. It's nice to be able to cycle your land in the late game. Alright, Rune of Protection Artifacts. That does not do much, but it's better than a Sarah Zealot, I think. I think if I end up having to play a Rune of Protection on my main deck, it's gonna be the blue one because it's more likely to be a hit than Rune of Protection Artifacts. Shall see, I guess. Rune of Protection White, or Silent Attendant, or Veil of Birds. Yeah, Rune of Protection is better. Bravado, Goblin Raider. Goblin Raider can be annoying in some of the aggressive decks in this format, most likely red-green, since green has all those cheap echo creatures. So does red, by the way. And we get a last pick Disenchant, which should not happen. Especially not in this format, but oh well. And look what we have here. Palincrom, not sure how to pronounce his name, but I'm definitely gonna take it. Hopefully we get one of these things back. We got a Cessation or one of the Vigilant Drakes, even a Sustainer of the Realm. But Palincrom, it's even a card that I need for one of my commander decks, so it's nice that I'm taking it here. There's a Bone Shredder, which is pretty good too, but I'm not gonna go into black because I don't feel like I need it. So yeah, let's go ahead and take the big fly here. pretty much impossible to kill if you time it right. Someone took a rare. Here we have a Cloud of Fairies that we are going to take. I mean, it's very expensive. It's not the best card in the format or anything. I mean, in the pack for me to take. I think the Radiance Judgment should be a better inclusion, but it is quite expensive, especially once they are no longer offering Urza Saga block drafts. So I'm gonna take it. And it is an okay card. I mean, it cycles. Or it is a flyer that can ping him. One of the things that I like doing in this format is taking Sigils of Sleep on the third pack, on the Urza's Destiny pack. It's an enchantment, an aura for 1 blue mana that lets your creature bounce one of their creatures when they hit him. And you know, having cheap flyers is excellent with that card. Alright, well, let's take Cloud of Fairies number 2 then. I think it's better than Opportunity. I mean, probably not, but you know, it's an expensive common, so I cannot really complain. Forbidden Watchtower should be okay as well, but yeah, taking a Cloud of Fairies. I mean, let's preemptively pay for the draft, shall we? Alright, well, this, it looks like it's finally time to get a Radiance Judgment. Another of these Far Action Broodlings here. They're pretty good, but I guess the Radiance Judgment is also pretty good. Can deal with a huge monster, or it can cycle. Cycling is such an awesome mechanic. Back in the day when this set was out, I could not see that. All I could think was, why in the world would you just throw away your card by discarding it? But yeah, good old times. Oh, the innocence. Here we got another Radiance Judgment. What does this thing do? That's pretty good. SWAT is pretty good too. Forbidden Watchtower is okay. Throne War Machine seems fine. Probably better than Frantic Search. I mean, Frantic Search is only really good if you can abuse the fact that it untaps your lands. And this is not gonna be the case, so I think I would be better off taking a War Machine. It's a pretty inexpensive beater. Rebuild. Urza's Blueprint. Urza's Blueprint is actually pretty good, especially if it gets to a point where we have, you know, board stalls, which is likely to happen since this is an old format. Could also take a Cessation, but I think I'm gonna try to get the rare there. It is pretty expensive, but oh well. Can draw some cards. It can at least be a poor man's, I mean, a grossly overcosted divination, if need be. We play 6, draw a card, then at the beginning of our next upkeep, we draw a card and don't pay the echo if we don't need to. Scrap Heap. If I didn't put in the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Not really good. Walking Sponge seems kinda okay. I mean, it seems awful, but oh well. Rank and File. Sick and Tired is annoying against a deck such as ours. It's almost always gonna take 2 of our creatures, right? Could like a Bouncing Beebles too. Better than another 1/1, right? Suppose so. Oops. I almost lost the time there. Alright, here we get an Opal Champion, which is pretty good. Also a Miscalculation, which is okay as well. But I think I'm going to take the Opal Champion. We lack creatures here, And this is not exactly a creature, but he often becomes one. Uh, yeah, not that hot. Miscalculation or Opal champion. Let's take the champion. Alright, we get the Sustainer of the Realm back. It's a pretty nice card. Blocks as a 2/5 and it's a 2 power flyer, which should be enough lots of times to do the trick. Probably better than a Cessation, although Cessation seems pretty good too. But yeah, I think I'd rather get a flyer. This thing plus Sarah's Embrace is also cool because giving this guy Vigilance should be in our best interest. So we have almost like a critical mass of flyers at this point here, which means that we should get some Sigils of Sleep. Destroy target aura attached to a creature. That is pretty nasty. I think I'm probably gonna hate this thing. Don't wanna play against it. Alright, there's a Forbidding Watchtower. Intervene, Devout Harpist. Yeah, I'm gonna take the mainland here, even though it's probably the worst mainland. It could be like better than the black one, although probably not. I mean, I'm not sure. They're both pretty bad, whereas the other three are good, especially the blue and the green ones. Okay, well here I think I'm gonna get a Devout Harpist. This the kind of card that I'm most likely to board in, although maybe it's Intervene, yeah. Tragic Poet, return an enchantment card from my graveyard to my hand. Better than a second Forbidding Watchtower, I would say. Guess we can return something like a Sarah's Embrace, or something like a Rune of Protection to cycle it, or even like a creature like an Opal Champion. Yeah, should have some uses in our deck. Okay, Iron Will, not the best card ever, but it does cycle, so. Alright, so let's see what Urza's Destiny holds for us. Okay, well, we got a Sigil of Sleep here, but you know, Massacre is definitely gonna be better. It's pretty unbeatable in drafts. I mean, the fact that you have to keep discarding cards is definitely annoying, but oh well. It's nice to have this on our deck, and we have to keep it in mind, you know, to keep lands on our hand. Don't play lands that we don't need, so that we can discard into the Massacre later on. Scent of Brine is not the best. Capacity Standard is okay, but I think Field Surgeon should be much better. It's really an insane common when you look at it. It has pseudo haste to use the ability, and it turns every creature you have into a damage preventer, which is bound to make combat quite a nightmare for our opponents. Some good green cards too. Gamekeeper, Heart Warden, but we are not jumping into green at this point. So we have a Metathran Soldier, Tormented Angel, Scent of Jasmine, another Heart Warden, Private Research, Scour, Rapid Decay, a card that nowadays will be common. It's a rare here. I think we're gonna take a Metathran Soldier because Metathran Soldier plus Sigil of Sleep is quite a nasty combo in this format. It might not look like it, but it really is. I just won my last draft off the back of Sigil of Sleep, by the way, so it's a card that definitely impresses me. And none of the other cards in our colors here are cards that we really want, so let's take the Soldier. Let's just hope we get one or two Sigils of Sleep. Wouldn't hurt. Okay, well, don't have much here. There's an ancient silverback. What else? Telepathic spies is pretty bad. Capuchin Knight is okay though. I think we might play that. Maybe a brass secretary, just so you can draw cards if we need to. I guess I'm gonna take the brass secretary because, like, this deck here really wants to play for the long game, and this card lets me, chump and draw a card. It's kind of like the stuff that I want to do. Better than the Capuchin Knight, I think. Someone in green should get quite a nice gift. Alright, there we go. Sigil of Sleep. Although this is pretty busted too. But yeah, let's take the Sigil. I mean, Sigil plus any cheap flyer or any flyer at all. Like, it's too bad that I don't have the Urza's Legacy fairies that tap to ping, because you don't even need to attack. It's any damage. It triggers off any damage, not just combat damage. So that's pretty amazing when paired with that particular card. But well, I guess the Metatron Soldier and our cheap flyers will have to do. I guess we can start like hiding stuff like Iron Will. Tragic Poet's probably not gonna make it, and yeah, neither is Runes of Protection, I don't think. Okay, think I'm gonna take a Capuchin Templar. If this was the Jasmine Seer instead of the Scent of Jasmine, I'd definitely take it. What else do we have here? This could be pretty good. But yeah, let's take this guy. It's better than another one toughness guy to be an easy target for the sick and tired that we are undoubtedly going to face. Ooh, Quash. I used to love this card. Rescue. Doesn't seem that good. This is bad. Goblin Festival. That is pretty nasty. We're definitely not gonna take it. I think probably Quash or Rescue. Let's take a Rescue, I think. Not that we're going to play either. Alright. Sigil of Sleep number 2, another Field Surgeon 2, but I would rather have a Sigil of Sleep. That thing just wins the game. Urza's Incubator. We have what? Angels, Illusion, and Drakes, and Human Soldiers. So that will not be too good for us. So let's take a Sigil of Sleep. I guess 2 Sigils of Sleep is a nice number. Alright, Sigil of Sleep number 3 or Field Surgeon. I am going to take the Field Surgeon this time. I think 3 Sigils is a bit too much, whereas Field Surgeon is another pretty good uncommon. Check out Mental Discipline, which is not that great, or a Capuchin Templar number 2, but I think I would rather have a Field Surgeon. Another one, that is. We also have the foil one we took earlier in the pack. So here we got a Capuchin Standard, we got a Flicker, Fend Off. Fend Off could be okay, Flicker is so bad. Yeah, let's take a Fend Off. We're probably not gonna play it, but oh well, it's like a pseudo removal spell. You can block to trade and just prevent damage that their creature will do, or you can cycle. Cycling makes pretty much everything at least acceptable. Solidarity, Scour, yeah, take a Scour. I love this cycle. I mean, I really do love the arts in the Urza's block. I think it's so like evocative. Maybe it's just rose-colored glasses, but I think it's truly great. Alright, that's a late Capuchin Knight, which we may even end up playing. I mean, Capuchin Knight plus Sigil of Sleep is also a nice combo, since this is a card that they are not likely to block. The Just Mind Seer made it back. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Sorry, Metatron Soldier. But the thing is that I guess the Cloud of Fairies do a pretty good Metatron Soldier impersonation, and the Just Mind Seer sometimes you can simply win the game, right? Like gaining you 4 to 6 life per turn should tilt many races in your favor. Alright, got a counter spell that we are not going to play. So I'm thinking this is it. I have been, I kind of wanted to play the Power Sync though. I'm just not sure what I should take. I could take one Cloud of Fairies, maybe even one Field Surgeon. Field Surgeon is so good, right? Angelic Page. Yeah, I feel like maybe I should just take a 1 toughness creature here. And I think I'm gonna take the Field Surgeon just because, the Cloud of Fairies can cycle, and the Metatron Soldier and the Cloud of Fairies and the Angelic Page can make good use of my early Sigil of Sleep. So let's bring in the Power Sync. You're gonna bring in a Drifting Meadow too, so let's see, 10-7. Yeah, okay, that seems fair, I think. Don't know if I can. Yeah, alright, let's bring in Forbidden Watchtower and Drifting Meadow. I am kinda iffy on the Watchtower though, but we shall see. Wish me luck and see you round 1.